PHP can be very beneficial for somebody who's trying to save a lot of time and money in building and maintaining a site. And the basic aspects that can help you out so much are very simple if you know some HTML and CSS. It's very simple, and here's a brief introduction into what PHP is, what it does, and how it can help you out with not a lot of knowledge or minimum knowledge about the extents of what the language can totally be used for. So here we go, PHP. PHP, personal home page. Personal home page, that's what PHP stands for. That's what it used to stand for. Then they changed the meaning to hypertext preprocessor. Okay, whatever. Look it up in Wikipedia and read about it. But we're not going to play around with the acronym. Let's go into what it does. We all started out with one web page. You've got one web page. Well, if everybody only had one web page, life would be so much complicated. If you had Facebook, you only had one page, that was it, okay? What about BBC, New York Times? You got one page, but it's not that simple. Even people you don't want to know, they can put up 2,000 pages up. So the problem with having more than one page for a website is that one page leads to 1,000 pages. Never fails. And in each of those pages, you've got all these headers, your nav bar, your footer. So traditionally, or let's say 10, well, for people that didn't know PHP, you have to go page to page to page and make all of those changes. And of course, there are other ways to get around that, but pretty much that's what it came down to. So that's where PHP comes in. PHP helps you create little snippets of code that you can put in a header or in a nav throughout your entire website and click a button, poof, it's like magic. Changes everybody all at once. Now here's how it works. PHP is what we call a middleware language. It's a communication mechanism. Look at how happy the little PHP man is. PHP is happy, okay? So you've got your front end, your client side. This is the device, the phone. It's kind of a not so smart device, okay? It's a phone, it's a tablet, it's a desktop front end client side. And so you're looking at a web page, and if there's data, like on Facebook is just a huge database of images and friends and all that kind of stuff. But without the PHP interprets the languages when you're sending information from the client side to the database, the back end, the server side. By default, the database, which would be MySQL. So you're in Facebook, WordPress. The database can't talk to the little computer over here. It just can't. The languages weren't set up that way. So they need this interpreter called PHP to say, oh, he's on this device over here. You've got this database over here. So I'm the language that helps communicate from the back-end server side to the front end. So PHP is an interpretive language. ASP performs a very similar function. All these languages are PHP, ASP. There used to be a language called CGI, Common Gateway Interface, which would help interpret database information also. But anyway, PHP interprets what's on the database and the back end to the front end. Now, what we're going to talk about now, databases are very powerful to store name, address, phone numbers, images, But for what I'm going to talk about, we really don't even need a database to really help you use PHP to get some really nifty things done, though I would strongly suggest going down database road. So here we go. PHP's just an interpretive language. Now, so here we go. WordPress websites use PHP. The cool thing about WordPress is you have a header, you have some forms, you have some sidebars, and these are just little PHP plugins, they call them, widgets. And these, so you can make one page and that page shows up on every page, and if you change something on your main page, it changes on 2,000 pages. Okay, that's cool. And they get this done with includes. And you know, I don't want to stop you short. I don't want to insult you in-depth PHP users, but for Joe person out there that wants to make their life easier, pretty much this is the only line of PHP you need to understand. Include. I'm serious. Okay, now check this out. Now, here's the deal. You have this basic page, header, links, nav bar, footer. Okay, so you would name this page index or home.php. Home.php right here. You can call it yomama.php right here. Now, okay, so what you do is you make another page. It's called header.php. You have nav.php. You have footer.php. And in these files, in these PHP files, all you have is some HTML, maybe some CSS, and they all talk to your style sheet. So in your header, you might have an images, a logo, some text, Happy Halloween. All right? Okay, so, and then you put this include in all of these pages. And this include might just say include header. But this file up here that is the include for header called header.php, it doesn't even have a body tag, no header tag. All it has is the HTML that you want to show up in the header. So it's Halloween, that goes, then it's Thanksgiving. So all of a sudden, all of your text changes, your images change in the header, and you just save this as header.php. This file is included in depth with all of its HTML and CSS, whatever, and all you write is include header.php, and poof, that's it. 1,000 pages, 10,000 pages, include header. You're done. Include the sidebar. You got 5 links. All of a sudden, you take this up to 15 links. Include sidebar. Footer. You want to change your footer, your corporate change. You got bought out, made $5 billion. Include this. That's the function of PHP. It can change your life. Now, the thing is, if you do this, you have to have your index, your main page. It doesn't have to be your entire site. Some of your site can be HTML based static pages, and other pages can be .php pages. I would think that optimally, you want to have your entire site as .php, so all the pages can actually communicate with one another. So, in our next title, we're going to actually make some PHP includes and show you how simple it really is. And if I were starting my site all over again, it would surely be totally PHP for sure.